I bet.
I don't know how we're going to deal with more snow. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
I was just saying, I just heard on the news before I jumped on that we're supposed to be getting more snow this weekend. We already have 2 feet. I don't know what they're going to do with another foot of snow.
I don't know. My parents are in Indiana, so they're also getting thwacked with a bunch of snow. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here in Colorado. I feel like I shouldn't be complaining, but it's like in the 40s and 50s. The one weekend it dips below and we get a bunch of snow. I'm in Florida where it's in the 80s because I was at Low Carb Boca over the weekend, and I come back, it's in the 40s and 50s again, and it's like, what is this? And then I'm looking at South Dakota. They have a bunch of snow. They're nice and cold. It's like I just want to move already.
Well, when are you moving? In May?
In May, first week of May. So it's not that much longer. It's like literally 3 months, but
Yeah.
it's
And
like
you're
I
coming.
want.
Siobhan is coming to Boston.
Yay! Yes,
Yay. I'm so thrilled.
yes, I will be in Boston next month, technically, only by a couple days. But I will be speaking at the Boston Lymphatic Symposium because they're doing a whole thing on lipedema. So I will be presenting on self care strategies from a holistic perspective. So not just like the symptom stuff, but also the psychological and the emotional and the social and the spiritual, all that stuff.
Oh,
So it'll be a lot of fun.
oh yeah. And then we're going to have a couple of hangout days.
Yes.
Yvonne from Los Angeles is coming.
Oh, cool.
I'm so thrilled. I mean, she's going to come down on Saturday. We'll have to figure out. Maybe I'll pick her up or something. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, Siobhan. I'm sorry. I've just been chatting and chatting. I'm so happy to have Siobhan back. Welcome back, Siobhan.
Yes, I was over in Sweden and I got like, I don't know, I lost my head for a couple months and I was preparing for the low carb Boca thing because to me that's always a super big deal to speak at Boca. So I was like, I have to get this presentation done. I can't do anything else, and it went super well. That is worth mentioning here is that at Low Carb Boca. Which is a low carb USA event. So it's therapeutic carbohydrate reduction and ketogenic diets and all that good stuff. I spoke on a paper that me, Leslyn Keith, and Carrie Reedy published recently. Therapeutic guideline, or sorry, therapeutic carbohydrate reduction guidelines for a holistic approach for lipedema. It's not the exact title, but if you rearrange the words in there, you'll get it. Um, but the super long paper talking about how to implement a ketogenic diet for lipedema or just therapeutic carbohydrate reduction more generally. And we cover a ton of content in that paper in terms of psychological factors and emotional factors. And then also just like basic principles of low carb for better health, specific to lipedema. So I did a presentation on that. I tweaked the presentation to speak to people directly because I know there's a lot of clinicians and doctors there. So I was saying, like, here's how you can do this in your practice. Here's some things to think about in terms of what these patients are like, the experience that they're going through. And it was awesome. Like, I got applause at the end, which is always nice because going into it, I'm always like, I don't know. I was kind of worried about it being boring, but someone told me they cried during, and it was awesome. And I talked to so many people after that presentation, just doctors and nurses and just metabolic health coaches and even people with lipedema who were there and thanked me for being represented. And it was awesome. So many people who are interested in helping out and starting to diagnose lipedema in their own clinic to it. Some of them are already diagnosing and they want to teach the other clinicians in their practice how to diagnose and how to treat lipedema. So it went super well, and I am so glad because I was quite nervous beforehand, but it was so fun.
You are so good. I haven't had a chance to mention it before, but you put so much energy and effort into these presentations. Let's set up where you do them for the community.
Oh yeah, sure.
They don't get a chance to hear it, and you've already done them. So it's easy. So we'll do your Boca and we'll do your Boston. And what else? There's another one you're doing. I can't remember.
COSI.
COSI. And we'll do
And
COSI.
a little sneak peek. I won't give specifics, but I will also be presenting in summer on our latest paper on cancer treatment related lymphedema prevention at another conference. So I already have that confirmed. I will give more details as they're made public. But we like a lot of the co-authors on these papers are working in the background to get these presented at conferences to get the word out, to get people interested. And there are so many, like once they become aware of what all this stuff is and how they can help, and that there is like this structured kind of guideline that they can follow to implement it, they're totally on board and excited and happy, and they just want to help out.
Especially, I mean, yes, definitely for lipedema and lymphedema, but I think the research on metabolic impact for cancer
Oh
is
yeah,
off the chart
absolutely.
amazing
Yeah.
because sugar feeds cancer. It's as simple as that. It's like eat, if you're putting glucose in your system, you're feeding cancer if you have cancer. But it's like so simple, but nobody says that. You know, I can't understand it.
Yeah, cancer is one I want to do a deep dive on in terms of the research at some point because it is super interesting and there's a lot of history behind it. Like, Cancer is a Metabolic Disease. That is a good book on the more nerdy side. And then on the more approachable side of the history of this, there is Tripping Over the Truth, is about a lot of this metabolic research and um, all of that type of stuff. Highly recommend those books. But yes, and to your original point, I'd be happy to give these presentations for the community. I do put a lot of work into them, and I know with Low Carb USA, they do eventually release them on their YouTube channel, but giving you guys a sneak peek, I think that would be awesome.
Oh, I think that's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Um, whoops. Sorry.
No worries. While you take care of presumably the phone, it is worth mentioning that we do have something coming up tomorrow, actually, on January 31st. So, Saturday, for those not keeping track of what day it is, mostly me, honestly. So, it is at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's
Great.
going to be with Carol and Esther, and it's part 2 of thyroid dysfunction, hormones, and lipedema. So, we'll put the link in the chat here. But I know this is a super relevant topic. I mean, even if you look at the research into lipedema, 30% of people may be hypothyroid. A lot of them are probably not aware. There's multiple things that could go into that, but the first step of figuring out what's going on is just increasing awareness of what this is and what to do about it. And yeah, so that will definitely be interesting. So again, that is going to be on thyroid. Why normal labs don't tell the full story is the uh, second part of the title. I don't remember the term for it. But tomorrow, January 31st at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, it is a free webinar. So make sure you sign up. And if you don't have time to attend tomorrow, maybe you're going skiing or building a snowman or something, um, sign up.
Going sledding.
Going sledding, or if you're here in Colorado, maybe like going fishing or having a picnic. Who knows? Sign up anyway because you'll get the recording. Also, it's worth noting I just finished another podcast recording, so I'm a little hyper. I'm still coming off of it.
What podcast?
Leslin and I both did it together with Casey Ruff. So it's the Boundless Body podcast, and we will be promoting it on our socials with Lipedema Simplified. It should come out in a few weeks, but we can have teaser clips and stuff like that beforehand. He sent us over a bunch of stuff to use, which is so kind of him. He's awesome.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, yeah. Make sure you send it so we can get it into our social media pathway.
Yes.
Okay, so the first part of the thyroid webinar was Wednesday night, and it was so terrific. We were going way beyond time, and they hadn't even finished all the content.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why we have part two. So, part two will go into some of the comorbidities that people talk about, like Hashimoto's and Graves' disease and other thyroid issues. And we'll have a long Q&A. That's why we set it up the way that we did. So, join us. The link here, let me show you the link. Here's the link, learn.lipedema-simplified.org/thyroid-webinar. And I am going to show you, here it is, thyroid dysfunction, hormones, and lipedema. Why normal labs don't tell the full story. They already went into a lot of detail, but I asked them to recap it. A lot of the detail about when you go to get your labs done, they'll do something called a TSH, which thyroid
Stimulating hormone.
stimulating hormone. Oh, good. Less than. Siobhan is, yeah, tell us about TSH and versus T3, T4, and why it's so important to have a whole thyroid panel.
Yes, so I am not a thyroid expert by any means, but my understanding of it is that a thyroid stimulating hormone encourages the production of the actual thyroid hormones like T3, reverse T3, T4, where T3 is the active form, and then T4 is, or reverse T3 is inactive. So again, I'm not an expert. Go watch the webinar to learn more. But basically, you can get a lot more detailed look because you could have relatively normal TSH levels, but the actual thyroid hormones could be out of whack. So it's hard to tell. And especially if you're having symptoms of hypothyroidism, it can be helpful to get a more detailed look, including looking at the antibodies. So there are thyroid antibodies, TPO, and then thyroglobulin antibodies to see if you're having an autoimmune reaction to the thyroid, which is what would happen in Hashimoto's and other autoimmune thyroid disorders. So I am going to watch the replay, and I'll watch this one so I can learn a lot more, so I can speak in more detail about it.
Yeah, Rosie. So the two people I'll be hosting, basically introducing and doing helping with Q&A, but Rosie, which is Carol Rousmith, and Esther are both will be sharing different aspects. Rosie comes from having a background in biology and chemistry, and she's a nurse practitioner. And so she went into a lot of detail about T3 and T4 and reverse T3 and reverse T4. I can never remember, but all of the different components. And we'll go into it all deeper on Saturday, which is tomorrow. Wow. We're supposed to get more snow, you guys. All right, I'm back here. Oh my God, more snow. Um, I want to give a few things about what's coming up because, as Siobhan said, she's going to be speaking at the Boston Symposium. The Boston Symposium is sponsored by Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, which has a department. No, it's not a department. It's a whole specialty on lymphatic disorders. So the Boston Lymphatic Center is putting on this symposium all on lipedema this year. They've done it on lymphedema and little bits on lipedema, but this is the whole 2-day symposium. So it's 2 days of clinical, and one of those 2 days is a patient symposium. So let me let me do this. Let me get the link. Siobhan, talk a little bit. Let me get the link.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be great. 2 days. So it is Thursday and Friday. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. I have been mostly looking at
The
really finding,
February 19th and 20th.
yes, 19th and 20th. And then there's a ton of speakers. I saw the agenda on it. Um, I'm not being very helpful here, I know.
Nope, you're doing great because I found what I was looking for, so I can. I'm going to go ahead and post this. Okay. Here is the Boston Lymphatic. Here it is, the Boston Lymphatic Symposium.org. And let me take us to there right now so you can see it. Focus on lipedema, bridging gaps. And they have a wonderful uh, lineup of speakers. As I said, there's the clinical and the patient. I actually signed up for the patient. I've been doing all the clinical stuff for so long, and I've been totally immersed in our book coming out. I decided I would hang out with the patient since I am one, and I know women who are coming. Like one of our long-term uh, lipedema ladies is coming from LA all the way to Boston for the patient symposium. So I'm planning to hang out with her. Yvonne Hyde, she is absolutely wonderful. She's also an advocate. So, anyway, you can find out more information. I think they still have space. Aren't
Yeah, they do have their agenda up, and there's definitely some recognizable names there. So Rochelle Crescenzi, I do recognize. And then Krupa is going to be there, which is awesome. And Susan O'Hara is also going to be there. Very excellent. But I also see a lot of names I don't recognize on site, which is exciting because I'll be there for both days. So I'll be watching through everything. And I will definitely report back after I'm back on what I learned because it looks like there's going to be a lot, both on the clinical side and the research side, but then also the patient side as well.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is the clinician side. I know a lot of these people. And there's Siobhan! Living with
Yay!
lipedema, self management techniques. So you have 25 minutes. That's good.
Yeah, I actually like those because it forces me to compress the information in a way that is very streamlined compared to like 45-minute. Every presentation has its like pros and cons to it, but I do like the shorter ones. Also, they're quicker to put together, which helps me.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, and here is the patient symposium. So some of the same people who are speaking at the clinicians one, like Shelley Crescenzi, has expertise around imaging, which is wonderful. She was at um, Vanderbilt, though she moved, so she's somewhere else now. But anyway, so it's amazing. God's someone I know that I've been in contact with just went to Germany and had lipedema surgery with Dr. Godes and raved about it. Suba and our own Dr. Carmody.
Yay!
Yay, yay. Okay, so that is the Boston Symposium. The other thing that I want to call to your attention and very humbly present is that our book is coming out. Our book, meaning the first ever medical textbook on lipedema with 30 authors throughout the world, co-edited by doctors Roxon, Leslin, and myself. I just did a bunch of last minute edits. I just got them into the publisher like 2 days ago. It's so funny. It's like you go through something again and again and again and again, and you think that there are no typos and you think that everything's in order, and then you find something that you missed, and it's like, how did I miss that? So anyway, it wasn't even me. It was one of the authors found something that went. So we've done a bunch of like minor tweaks and changes. I have to check in with the publisher, make sure we're all set. But oh my God, it's very exciting. And for those who are purchasing the book, we're having a special. Just put this, make sure that you pencil this. But February 27th, we're having an online heart to heart book launch, which means that we're going to get online and we're going to celebrate, but we're also going to have a number of speakers, including our very own Siobhan Huggins and Leslin and myself, and probably Dr. Carmody and some others. So you don't want to miss it because it's all going to be highlighting the best parts of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie ducky. I think we are done for today.
I think so.
And just in time because my voice is starting to. I've had a cold the past week. Can you hear
Ooh,
it? It was worse. It's much
tiny
better,
sweet.
but it's still. I still have a frog in my throat. Anyway, love you all. Wherever you are, stay safe and warm over the weekend. Siobhan, I'll talk to you. I'm so excited because Siobhan is coming and we're having a cook fest. I said
Yes.
to her, "What food do you want me to have?" And she sent me this list, and I'm like, "Oh, oh my God, I can't wait." She's going to make Tuscan soup, which I love Tuscan.
Tuscan soup is so good. If you have not had Tuscan soup, definitely make it. I make a keto version. It's so easy. I made it a bunch when I was over at my husband's place, and then like he messaged me and wanted to make sure he had the recipe after I left so he can make it. And it's just so yummy. And then the other thing I'm making is Mississippi pot roast because it's my favorite.
So, so we're going to be all set.
Mm-hmm.
We'll share recipes. All
Yes.
right, everyone.
Bye.
Much love. And thank you. Thank you for showing up every week, really.